On a day-to-day basis, I interact with CEOs, senior managers of SMEs. As you know, I'm the CEO of Corporate Staffing Services. We are a HR consultancy firm, and one of the services we offer to businesses is recruitment. And one thing I've observed across the board when it comes to SMEs is that almost all managers, the business owners, the CEOs, they are complaining about high staff turnover. And this happens in two ways. Either they're the ones letting the staff go over a short period of time. So they hire this person, let's say in January, and by March they feel that this person is not contributing. Or the staff themselves come into the organization and within a very short period of time, resigning, leaving the organization. So if you're a manager, a CEO, or an entrepreneur watching this video, what can you do to ensure that next time you are hiring, you are bringing someone on board, you get it right? Why? This idea of keeping on hiring, it's not only costs you in terms of money, but it costs you greatly in terms of time and in terms of you being able to achieve your organizational goals. So you'd imagine if it's a marketing department and here you are every 2 months you're changing staff, when are you going to achieve your revenue targets? But if you had someone there you've worked with 2-3 years and they're doing their best and the two parties are happy, you'll agree with me, it will be easier, much more easier for you to be able to achieve the goals that you are looking for. So on to my first point. The first mistake I see a lot of the SMEs making is they don't come up with a specification of who they want to hire. In simple terms, they don't come up with a job description which is specific to that organization. Now, majority of them, if they're looking to hire, let's say an accountant, what do? They'll go online, they copy a job for an accountant for a different organization. And by doing this, they forget that no two organizations are the same. You might be having the same job title, but it doesn't mean the accountant that you are hiring for yourself is the accountant on the other side where you copy the JD does the same tasks. So maybe the accountant for you need this accountant to not only do the accounting bit, but they also need to have done admin. They probably need also to be exposed to a certain accounting ERP. So for job descriptions, you should tailor-make them to your organization. Just sit down, pen and paper, and write, this is what I'm looking for first, so that even if you're to go online and copy other job descriptions, you'll be able to compare with yours, and if there's something they're missing, add to that job description. The other thing you can do is also seek the services of experts. For example, you can come to an organization and we can look at your HR structures, see do you have job descriptions that are specific to your organization, and if they're not specific, we can be able to update for you. Now, with a job description that is specific to your organization, what you do is you're able to communicate to candidates out there on the specific, the exact even person that you're looking for. There are no two things about it. It's apples for apples. It's not you going to the market, you're looking for apples, then you find it's oranges that are applying for that job. So point number one, don't forget the paperwork. Don't take it for granted. Have I come up with a job description that is specific to the position that I'm hiring? Now, if you come up with a job description, the other thing that you need to pay attention to is don't sugarcoat the job. I've had instances where the company is hiring for a receptionist, but what do they call the job? They call the job office administrator. No, don't sugarcoat the job. If you're hiring for a receptionist and you advertise that job as office administrator, what you're doing is sugarcoating the job. It's like you having a hotel in River Road and then you tell people your hotel is based in CBD. Now, what do you think will happen if they call you and you tell them, no, guess what, as we are based in River Road, that person will not come to where you are. So it's the same when it comes to the job. If you are hiring a receptionist, advertise as a receptionist. If you are based in Kitengera, don't say we are based around Mombasa Road. I remember there's this client we are hiring for, they're based in Kikidongori. And the reason why they came to us is they would tell us, Perminus, when we are advertising for a job, we would say we are in Kiambu. And then the day of the interview, when the candidates call to find out where we are, and we tell them we are 20 kilometers inside Githunguri, they would even start losing candidates at that level. So when we came on board, the first thing I advised them is just say we are based in Githunguri. You can even say 15 kilometers inside, so be as specific, such that when someone is applying for this job, you are able to manage their expectation. My third point is pay the market rate. So a lot of SMEs, they don't want to pay the market rate when it comes to the salary. Now, I know most of you managers, business owners will be asking me, Perminus, but we don't have the money to pay. Now, what I've found out with professionals, majority of the professionals are understanding. If you've just started your organization and you are less than 6 months old, you have this small office, I doubt whether the first person you're hiring, let's say you're hiring this receptionist, I doubt whether they'll come and ask for 50,000, 100,000. Okay? But if the company has grown, you have the resources, people are also able to see where you have resources. And so they should also, the expectation is that you should be able to remunerate them according to the market rate. So again, you can come to an institution such as mine, Corporate Staffing Services, and we can be able to advise you on what the market rate is. You can also look at the different job boards that we have out there. Some of them do disclose the salaries that the job come with. So you have no reason to really underpay. Look at the market rate and see, am I within the market rate? Another mistake that SMEs make when recruiting is hiring friends and relatives. I know when the business is young, the people you want around you, the people you can trust, the people who even understand you are friends and relatives. But my advice to you is, it doesn't matter whether the business is only 1 day old or the business is 1 year old. Professionalize your business, and professionalizing your business means making sure you only hire people that you don't have a personal relationship with. Why? Because number one, it will be very difficult, if not extremely hard, for you to manage these people. Second, as your business grows, when you start bringing outsiders, it always doesn't work when you have relatives on board. Why? Because, and it's an African thing, people who we are related with, people who are friends, somehow they feel entitled. They want to get a better salary, they want to get a better say on the direction of the organization. Sometimes disrespect comes in, and all because they feel they know you well and they want you to extend favors, they want you to treat them in a special way. So you find a lot of times the business owner or the manager, their time is spent more managing these, putting out the fires that these friends and relatives have put up, as opposed to really running the business. So for your own sanity, and for the sanity of your staff, and for the sanity of your customers, I would highly recommend that from day one, start with professionals. Go out there, and nowadays it's very easy for you to recruit. These are not the days where you'd have to go advertise to the newspapers and there was no help. Nowadays you have people like us on board who you can come, we have one meeting, and within 3-4 days we present for you a short list of the most qualified people. And it's not expensive, it's something we've supported a lot of SMEs with. So now that you know what it takes to attract the right professionals to your business, what other mistakes do you need to be on the lookout for? The fifth mistake I see SMEs making is, now when you have all these people now in your boardroom and you're interviewing them for the job, please don't do all the talking. And by the talking, the professionals, they don't need to know that you are the very successful person. They don't need you to intimidate them. I see a lot of managers, SME owners, entrepreneurs taking that route when it comes to interviews. Remember, during the interview stage, you want to get to know this person well. You need this person to be at their best so that you can be able to identify the skills they are bringing on board and the worth to your company. So now that's not the time to talk big. That's not the time to do all the talking. That's not the time to intimidate candidates. That's not the time to ask them questions which are really not professional. I've been in a situation where this business owner was asking a young woman, why are you not married? So you can imagine how such kind of question, what value does it add to the interview process? And I wasn't surprised later on when the candidate approached me and told me, Perminus, I wasn't happy with the line of questioning. And it was the first time I was assisting this entrepreneur with interviews, and I gave him feedback, and nowadays now he has improved. So there you have it. So attracting and getting the best staff on board for your SME, it doesn't have to be a hard task. There are just a few things that you need to pay attention to. Ensure that you have a job description, making sure that you're not sugarcoating the job. Look at the market rate. How are other firms comparable to me? How are they paying? Then also don't hire friends and relatives. If you do this, you remember this video. Don't. It doesn't matter whether you are hiring for staff number 1, the 10th staff, the 20th, or the 100th staff. You're better off keeping away from friends and relatives. And now when you're interviewing, allow people to be themselves so that you can be able to see what they are bringing on board. It's not the time for you to keep talking. It's not the time to intimidate the candidates. Thank you and see you next week.